back. The gentlewoman from California, Ms. Torres, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, for organizing this meeting, and thank you to our guests for being here today. I am greatly concerned and would like to know how many members of Congress and how many members of the President Trump's cabinet have used their privileged position and information for personal profit. Do any of you know? The last report, between 2019 and 2021, the New York Times found that 97 members, or 18% of Congress, traded stocks in sectors related to their committee work. In the 117th Congress, 78 violated the Stock Act by failing to disclose in a timely manner. We don't know exactly how many people in the administration have these types of conflict. You know, my constituents sent me to Washington to address their immediate needs. The rising cost of out-of-pocket costs that are making their lives extremely difficult, and to ensure that their government is working for them. They certainly didn't send me to enrich myself, and as one of the poorest members in Congress, I can say that with my head up, former 911 dispatcher. Members of Congress, the Trump administration and their relatives should not have a blank check to use privileged information to cash in while working families continue to struggle. I'm particularly concerned about public reports that Attorney General Pam Bondi, the person who leads the Department of Justice and is supposed to prosecute criminals and uphold our Constitution, sold up to $5.5 million in Trump media stock on the exact same day the president announced tariffs that sent that stock plummeting 13%. As head of the Department of Justice and a close friend of President Trump, she had access to information that working families in my district could never dream of having. And while she was gaming the stock market with special knowledge, families across the country were continuing to struggle with rising costs. And here we have our top law enforcement officer potentially using insider information to protect her personal wealth while regular Americans continue to be left behind. On February 11th, 2 days before President Trump announced his tariff plans that sent markets plummeting, Secretary Duffy sold up to $600,000 worth of stock across 34 companies. On that day of the announcement, he sold another $50,000. Secretary Duffy tweeted, and this is specifically disgusting to me. On that day, he tweeted that these tariffs are the culmination of his work on tariff policies, having worked directly with Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on reciprocal tariff legislation. This episode exposes a dangerous loophole. Senior executive branch officials can legally trade individual stocks even when they have access to sensitive market-moving policy information or lead the policies themselves. I'm left wondering what specific legislation reforms ensure that senior officials who shape policies that move markets cannot use technicalities to profit from their privileged access to information. Because right now, the message that we are sending hard-working taxpayers across America is that government service comes with a stock market advantage for those in power, but the market crashes for those paying taxes. Mrs. Strauss, is disclosure alone enough to make sure the powerful separate policymaking from personal financial gain? And under current law, what specific mechanisms exist to investigate and prosecute a cabinet official like the Attorney General for potential insider trading?
Thank you, Congresswoman. The Ethics in Government Act requires covered executive branch officials to file financial disclosure statements annually with their agencies, and the agencies all have ethics officials that evaluate those for real or perceived conflicts of interest, and then work with the executive branch employee or secretary or whoever to resolve any potential conflicts of interest that might exist, in whatever way is appropriate in that setting.
Thank you. I'm going to yield back to the chair.
The gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman